Let's talk about Ontario and their decision to cancel the contract with Starlink. I think you predicted something like this would happen, or you at least kind of warned about it, that Starlink, one big problem for Elon Musk would be if people start canceling Starlink contracts. Kind of an incredible move. The Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, had some interesting things to say about this, and we've got a clip, so let's take a listen.
U.S.-based businesses will now lose out on tens of billions of dollars in revenues. They only have President Trump to blame. I'm also urging all 444 municipalities to do the same, and I'm thrilled to see some are already stepping up. For example, Mayor Patrick Brown in the city of Brampton and many other cities. As part of this government-wide procurement ban, we're going one step further. We're ripping up Ontario's contract with Starlink. It's done, it's gone. We won't award contracts to people who enable and encourage economic attacks on our province and our country.
Kind of baller. Your reaction, Scott?
I think Musk, when he saw this, I think this probably sent a chill down his spine. If people start canceling Starlink contracts, I mean, they're already throwing shit at Teslas on the road. I just canceled a Tesla last night on Uber. I'm starting to cancel if it's a Tesla when it comes up. I think that Canada, I think this guy's making the right move, and I think you're only going to see more of it. I think people have just had it. What's a shame is that we don't have the same type of leadership here in the United States. There hasn't been a single CEO who has stood up and said, I am not going to participate in this pay-for-play kleptocracy. I'm not giving to the campaign. I am not going to be paraded around. You either have laws that affect all of us or none of us, but I have had it. And we haven't had anyone that shows the balls of this leader up in Ontario. And it is so disappointing, the domino theory of cowardice that has infected the rich and Fortune 500 CEOs. I can't think of one who has spoken out, all under the auspices of quote-unquote shareholder value. Well, folks, your stakeholders include Americans. It is incredibly disappointing that we aren't showing a fraction of leadership that this guy is showing.
But I think you say, the domino theory of cowardice, I think this is basically showing that we're about to see the domino theory of revolt. This guy's the first one to do it, and it's only $100 million, which is not a big deal for Starlink, which did $8 billion in revenue last year. But Canada overall is Starlink's second largest market behind the US. They've got 500,000 Starlink subscribers in Canada. And I think what this shows is, this guy's the first to do it, but we're going to see a domino effect. And I think all of these other provinces follow suit. I don't think you want to be a leader in Canada who looks weak up against Donald Trump. And what we're seeing is that the entire nation is sort of coming together and rallying against a common enemy. And there's just this one stat I found fascinating from YouGov. 82% of Americans say they consider Canada to be an ally. In Canada, that number is now 33%.
I think this is what is going to probably push Musk out of government, or he is going to decide he's going to try and declare victory and leave, because if you look at Starlink customer base, Tesla is already crashing. It's literally imploding. I don't know if you saw a video of Mardi Gras and someone, a Tesla truck or whatever you call it, was rolling down, and everyone started just throwing shit at it. Starlink was his growth vehicle, and there's 1.5 million customers of Starlink in the U.S. You referenced that there's 530,000 in Canada, its second largest market. That's real. And then the number 3 market, Mexico, at 435,000. And then the number 4 is Brazil, who probably doesn't feel that great about Musk, who was threatening, was fucking with their internal politics. So, Starlink's value in the private markets, it's the most valuable company, one of the most valuable private companies, and the most traded in the secondary market. And I think it's a third of $1 trillion. I think it's trading at 3 or 350 billion. That number is going to come way down, because if they can't show the kind of growth that they've been showing, also you are seeing a lot of, you want to talk about greed glands going. If I'm Telesat or Explore, the competitors, they have no trouble raising a shit ton of money right now. And because there is about to be a big gap in the marketplace for this type of broadband provider.
It's what happened with Twitter, and then you saw all those Twitter competitors rise up, and now Threads,
Blue Sky, Post. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, some of them kind of failed.
You're the one I invested in, but is that what you're saying, Ed? Is that what you're saying, the one I invested in? The one I managed to pick?
That was what I was hinting at.
Okay.